Hello, Rachel.
Hi, James. Sorry I'm late.
Hi. I'll let you off.
Thank you. Usual tech nightmare.
Yeah, tell me about it. I think I've finally got everything sorted now. Hopefully, you should see a screen with me on it. Um,
hmm
Yeah.
and I'm recording it. And hopefully, I can actually see if someone else needs to join because I've got the other screen open there. Oh, yeah. Sharon's joining. Sharon is the expert. So if there's any questions that I can't answer, Sharon,
Mhm.
who's now joining, has done the 167, the 225, and the 312. So she can answer any questions about the 225 or the 167 because I've only ever done the 312.
I'm invisible. I'm just talking to a ghost.
Right. Okay. Everybody ready?
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Right. I'll try not to keep you too long, but yeah, hopefully you'll find some value in this. This is my presentation I normally do at the event for Mellow Jersey. So if anybody's on the Mellow Jersey trip, you'll see this similar if you want to attend in live. But I've added some slides as well this time for some new stuff. So yeah, I've entitled it How to Beat the Cutoff and Complete the 312. Obviously refer to the 312 full distance throughout, but some of it applies to the 225 and the 167 as well. Uh, Before we start, I just thought I'd add this slide because everyone done really well with all their training, and getting to this point. The last thing you want to do is fall at the last hurdle and not actually make it to the event. So just some general things to keep in mind. Not next week, the week after. Um, yeah, you don't want to be sick for the event, or too fatigued. The key thing to say, if anybody wants to go ride because you're in Mallorca before the event, the temptation is to go and do Sacalobra or some massive day on the bike, which nothing's going to help you that week. Like you can't suddenly panic train and do a load of training and think you're going to get fit for the event. So like that last week, whatever you've done, you've done. Like, and just accept that that's what it is. You want to do a couple of shortish rides. You don't want to do nothing at all because your legs will just start to stop working. So you want to do a couple of rides, but nothing hard at all or long. So yeah, good sleep habits in that week. You're obviously not going to sleep on the night of the event very well, which isn't a problem if it's just one night. But if your sleep's rubbish for the whole week and you don't sleep the night before the event, then you're not going to be great. Um, Good hygiene, obviously, especially when traveling. As bad as COVID was, it has taught us quite well how to avoid getting bugs. So, and your masks, especially for the plane or the hotel buffet, I think they tend to be a place for breeding germs. Um, and yeah, try to limit riding, no hard or long rides. Ideally, a good way to do it is to ride on the Wednesday. I'm not sure anybody's arriving, but ride on the Wednesday and the Friday, and try to have a rest day on the Thursday. You need to do an hour or two on the Wednesday and the Friday. But yeah, a full rest day on the Thursday generally works quite well. And the rest of the week spend with your legs up, um, relaxing on the sunbed and not getting sunburn. Last year, one of the guys got totally burnt the day before, which wasn't pleasant for the event. So yeah, plenty of sun cream at the top, and try not to drink too much beer before the event. Save that till afterwards. If anybody's got any questions, they can answer at any point, or there's a Q&A at the end. So you can save them, but if not, just shout. Um, right, so a little bit about the day before. Activation rides, generally an hour and a half, and just a couple of shortish intervals just to wake the legs up, but just nothing too mad. One thing you want to do on that ride the day before is to fuel as if you're doing a big ride, because that's when you'll be doing your carb loading, and eating while you're training and immediately after is the best time to be absorbed. So don't not eat thinking it's only going to be an hour and a half. Pretend that it's a massive ride and fuel like you would for a big ride. And then straight after the ride, you want to start eating as well, because again, your muscles are primed to absorb any food. So eat straight after. Carb load, basically the 2 days before you can start increasing. You haven't got to go mad. If you've never done it before, then like 6 to 8 grams per kilogram of carbs each day. If you've done it before and been practicing, then you can go up to like 12 kilograms of carbs per kilogram of body weight, spread throughout the day, which is a lot of food if you do the full 12 grams. I have got close, but even for me, I love eating. I still struggled. If you've never done it before, then don't go mad and think, well, I've got to do all this. Like, in context, just eat a little bit more than you normally would if you've never done anything like that before. Prep all your equipment, get your bike ready and lay out all your gear, work out how many carbs you need and work backwards. I mean, pretty much what I've got here was what I had for the event. So I think I do it in about 11 hours and I aim for about 80 grams of carbs an hour. So like 880 grams for the whole event, minus the water. I can pretty much carry. I have a few cans of Coke throughout the event, but generally I can carry most of what I need, which is just laid out here. And yeah, hydrate, drink regularly, not beer, water. Yeah, all these things, if you can start the day, like there's only so much you can do on the day before and on the event, but if you can get ahead of schedule the day before and get up to date, then that will help massively. So you don't want to go into it depleted of food, water. So yeah, keep that the day before. Right, next one. So on to the actual event. So for me, there's 2 components to completing the event, which is mindset and nutrition, including the hydration. Shan would have heard this a few times because she's attended my talk in Mallorca. But I always tell the story that my brother completed Land's End on the Groats with me in 9 days, and he's never ridden a bike before that. So he'd never ever been on a bike, and he basically sat on my wheel for 9 days, 100 miles a day, and he finished it. So he was in pieces at the end of it, but he's very mentally strong, and just carried on riding. So with endurance, it's more mental than anything. And obviously fueling, I had to feed him because he had no idea what he was doing. So he basically just sat on my wheel, I fed him, and then every morning I'd just put him on his bike. Go end of the day, he'd hand me his bike and say sort that out, and then go upstairs and lay down. But yeah, he did it. So yeah, it just goes to show he'd never ridden a bike, done no training whatsoever. So I'm sure everyone's ahead of what he was for his event. So yeah, your brain can only have one thought at a time, they say. So make it positive. If it is negative, then try and change it as quick as possible, and just think about how lucky you are to be riding in Mallorca with the stunning scenery. And yeah, nutrition. I mean, anyone will have heard me talk and bang on about nutrition all through the training plan in the academy. It's all about eating. Like, you just can't eat enough on the day, whether your body can absorb it. Hopefully you've been training and you can tolerate it, but you'll be in a deficit that whole day. Like, whatever you eat, you'll still be burning more than what you eat. You want to eat a little and often and before you get hungry. So you want to start as soon as the event starts, whatever your strategy is, every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes, every half an hour, and then just start from zero. Don't wait till you're 3 hours in before you start eating or drinking. Because yeah, they'll catch up with you. If you don't eat or drink, you will look like this, which was me in 2023, I think. Yeah, 3 years ago now. I was going well until about 100 miles into the event, and I just couldn't eat or drink. I had some sort of stomach bug, which I think I got from the hotel buffet possibly, or Emma's child who had a little bit of a bug. But I think on a normal day it would have been okay. I wouldn't have even noticed, but because I was pushing hard, and obviously it takes a lot out of you. Yeah, I just felt sick the whole way around. So I think by 100 miles in, I was just limping around on coke, and it just turned into a mental battle. Especially if you do the full 3-1-2 distance, you get 5K from home, the finish line, and then you have to take a right-hand turn to do an extra 90K to make up 312. And I'm not going to lie, that is a pretty dull loop. So anyone who's doing the event, great, do the 3-1-2, tick the box, but the actual stunning route is the 225. I don't know why I keep having to do the full 3-1-2 every year, but I seem to have made a rod from my own back. So yeah, I'll be doing it again now. But the last 90K is horrendous. It's just they've just added it on to make the distance up. There's no great scenery. There's some real steep kickers, and it's normally windy, sharp turns. It doesn't flow very well. I'm not selling it, but
I was going to say you're not selling it at all, James. You're not selling it at all.
But I would rather set that expectation and tell people, "Oh, it's great. Yeah, that last bit is brilliant. You'll love it." So yeah, at least you're prepared for it. It's just a case of getting around to tick the box. But then you do get to Arta, and it is a fun last feed stop in Arta. So yeah, you have to do that on 3-1-2. Okay, so top tips. Arrive early. Basically, the gun time is the time where everybody's time is from for the road closures. So that will go at 6:30, and if you cross the line at 7, you don't get an extra half an hour at the cutoffs. The cutoff is the cutoff. So whatever you lose, you've got to try and make up. So the earlier you can get to the pen. The pen's open at, they say, the event starts 6:30. The pens, they say, open at 5:30. But from experience, they tend to open them up about 4:15. And don't underestimate how much faff time there is in the morning getting down there. So I always aim to be there just after 5 as a rule. Getting across the line is better organised than it has been in previous years. Like people lost 45 minutes, 50 minutes. But I think now they've got it down to maybe 20, 25 minutes, even if you're the last person. So it's not as bad as it used to be, but it is still pretty busy. So yeah, it is an early start, but it's worth getting there early for that. Limiting stopping, for me, the people that don't make the cutoff is generally the people that have stopped, in my opinion, for too long, whether it be toilet, waiting for their friend, the feed station, or just getting off and stretching. Like, you just can't make that time up that you stop for. You know, if you ride in the group and you stop for the toilet and you say to the people, just go ahead, I'll catch you up, how hard you have to pedal for how long to catch those people up, and you've only stopped for 2 or 3 minutes. Like, it just eats time, and you'll think you've only stopped for a couple of minutes, then you'll review it and realize, oh, it is longer. Like, the time goes really quick. So for me, it's just don't stop at all costs. I need to check what I'm down to now, but I think I'm down to maybe less than 10 minutes for the whole distance. So yeah, pretty swift now. But most of my gains, I mean, I have got quicker each year, but I've also reduced the time to stop. I think the first year was an hour and a half of stopping, but on the day it didn't feel anything like that. So yeah, for me, as soon as you do stop, just note the time and just constantly count in your mind the clock, any stops you do have, and pee as quick as you can, or pee on the bike. But yeah, probably wouldn't recommend. I have done that, not at the event. I've done it on a time trial, but yeah, you shouldn't need to pee on the bike. But yeah, just pick your toilet that's got no queue. Ride efficiently. So rather than thinking about pushing harder, think about how can I maintain this speed while saving energy. So it's not about how hard you can push, it's about how much energy you can save. You've only got like X amount in you. Your battery is only so big, so once it's gone, it's gone. You don't get a chance to rebuild it. So yeah, if you can be as aero as possible, so think about your frontal area being as small as possible. The windier it is, the more time you're going to save, and the faster you go, the more time you'll save by being aero. Don't have any flap and delays on anything that's slowing down. It all seems small amounts, but they all add up over the day. There's quite a few sections where you've got a little downhill and then an uphill, so you can get the momentum on the downhill to get you through the uphill. Basically use everything you can to ride as efficiently as possible. A reasonable cadence, not tensing up, just everything you can do to be efficient, because it's a long day. I'll catch up with you. And fueling, again, you've got the nutrition guide. I can't go on about it enough. You will need to eat and drink regularly. Okay, nutrition pre-event. So a good thing to do is, as soon as you wake up, is neck a pint of water or electrolyte drink. That will then save you needing, if you get it in your first off, then it'll save you on the start line needing the toilet or the first part of the ride. So hydrate as soon as you wake up, and try to eat breakfast 2 to 3 hours before your event starts, which generally should be okay for most people, because if you're going to aim to be there at 5, 5:15, the event starts at 6:30, then you're going to be eating at 4 anyway. So yeah, plenty of time for it to digest. High carb and low fiber, so porridge, rice, cereal, honey, toast, anything really. If you wanted a figure on how much to have, then they say 1 to 3 grams of carbohydrates per body weight. So a lot of people use 2 as a guide. But again, if you've not done that in training, don't go and smash a huge bowl of porridge in your and if you can't move. Rice is quite good if you can fancy eating rice, or rice pudding, because you've got a lot of water in the rice as well, and it's not as fibrous as porridge, so that can be a good option. But yeah, practice something this weekend. A bit of orange juice, honey, any of those things all increase it. And then you can take a bag to the start line and just have like a pre-event snack, because you'll be standing there for an hour and a quarter, so you can have a banana or something just before you start. Okay, yeah, small snack, 30 to 60 grams of carbs. So that's before the event. And then on the event, as I said, you cannot eat too much. So again, whether your stomach can tolerate it, I think Vicky, who's on here, tried to increase it one year, but at the event, and that didn't really work for him. So if you haven't done it in training, don't just do it on race day. You should have been doing it by now, but in training. So if you haven't, just increase it a little bit from what you normally would. But ideally, 60 to 90 grams per hour, little and often, mix of real food and energy drinks, gels. A good thing is just pure Haribo. Like this 300-gram bag, it's got 225 grams in it. So yeah, per 100 grams, they're about 75, I think. 75 grams per 100 grams. Any of the sweets. And then you've got the gels. Check what your gels are, because some of them are 20, some of them are now 50 and 60. So there's a huge difference with them nowadays. They didn't used to be. They all used to be like 20, quite low. But yeah, there's a lot of big ones now. Bananas 20, crepes 20, and then your savior you'll find is Coke. So most of the feed stations have cold Coke, and there's 35 grams of carbs in a can of Coke. So that's a really good one to get in you. And you can also put that in your water bottle at the feed stations and water it down with water, which works quite well. Flat Coke. Fluid, you want to aim for maybe 500 mils an hour. It does get hot, but you don't always feel it that hot at that time of year. I think last year they said it was one of the hottest years, but when you're riding, you don't feel it as quite as hot as it is, but it will be. So you need to make sure you're on top of it. If you're not planning on stopping at the first water stop, then what you can do is make sure you're hydrated before you start, and then don't have too much in that first hour because it's dark. Well, it's getting light, but it's a bit cooler. So if you want to get to that cutoff without stopping, you can do it on 2 750 bottles, but you're slightly under hydrated. It's not ideal, but it does save you having to stop at that first water stop. Okay. And yeah, at the feed stations, you want to have a plan as to what you need. Don't just wander around it like as a hotel buffet thinking, oh, I'll have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Just know what you need, grab it and go and eat on the move. For me, I can say pretty much carry most what I need for the whole event, and it's just water. I stop and Coke. But yeah, if you want to take a gel, bars, whatever you want, just grab it and then stuff it in your jersey and get going. Don't hang about. You're better off eating on the move, but going slowly than you are sitting down trying to eat. So yeah, again, the nutrition guides got a lot of this in. But afterwards, any questions, then yeah, we've got 2 more weeks, 2.5 weeks still to go. No, 2 weeks nearly. Just iron out any last questions and concerns. Okay, so they literally produced this yesterday, I think, or the day before. I can't remember when I first saw it. These are your feed stations. The feed stations haven't changed. The start and the end time hasn't changed, but they've given you a whole 5 minutes extra on the first cutoff and another 5, well, 10 in total for the second one. They've introduced this new time at Arta. So traditionally, Arta is the last feed station before the finish on the 312 atmosphere. They've got a DJ, they have free beer they're giving away. And you tend to think when you got there that, well, I've made it here, I've finished the event, I've just got to call back. But you can still not make the finish cut off by staying there too long, which is probably why they've introduced the cut off from Arta, to save people hanging about and then risking not making the final cut off. But time wise, it's not a tight cut off. I think it's just to make sure people leave it in enough time to get to the finish line. So yeah, you can have beer there if you want. The whole village or town, they all come out cheering you in. So yeah, when the first year I did it, I got there and thought that was the finish line. Realised you've got another 30k, 28k to go, just along a main road, a little bit up and down, but quite a fast road.
Are you saying, James, you've got to be at Arta by 5 to 8?
Yeah, they're basically saying that that's like another cut-off point. They're going to close it at 5 to 8. So if you arrived at Arta at 8 o'clock. So
what will they do if you're not there by?
The same as they do at the cut-offs. They'll basically.
But how would you? So if you're not there by 8 o'clock, I'm just thinking, are they just saying that you can still ride back, or?
Yeah, it's the same as the normal cut-offs. They'll take your number, I think, and let you ride back.
So you'll still be able to ride the route back, but you just won't. Right, I've got you.
Yeah.
I was just thinking from where it's positioned on the route, like if you don't make the 312 cut off, you just carry on the 225, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, you still got to get back to the.
You've got to get back to the finish, so it's almost like, well, yeah, okay, if you don't get there by 8 o'clock or 5 to 8 or whatever, but where are you going to go? You've got to still ride back, haven't you?
I think it's probably an insurance policy for the road. They'll
opening the roads.
Yeah, they'll open the roads up. and you're not part of the event then. So if anything goes wrong, they can wash their hands.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, I mean, it does start. It doesn't get that dark, but it is a bit dusky, maybe.
Yeah,
Really...
I can't remember what, but I was just thinking, well, I can't see how you're possibly going to police that, because if you've got to get back, haven't you?
Yeah,
You're still going to ride the route.
Yeah, that is the direct. The route is the only way back you would go. There's no other way back. Like,
yeah.
And James, what do they do? Say you get to the 225 cutoff, 5 minutes, so 11:25, say. Can you just say, well, I'm going to do it anyway? What is the sort of,
not really.
No.
They have police there.
Yeah.
Like they are strict. Like they'll not let you go on.
Okay.
They put a barrier across the road.
It does.
I've done it a couple of years ago where I got there, and you can sneak around. They're sort of moving the barriers in. You can sort of get around.
Yeah.
But once it's officially shut, the police there, and they will say,
that's it. Okay.
Turn left. You can't go on here.
Okay.
What year was it, James, when that they really kicked off? Because was there the delay at the start? Was that not last year, the year before?
The year before.
And they didn't alter the time, did they? No. And that really did. It was kicking off at that cut-off point there, but they literally do shut the road, Rachel. You can't
get through.
No.
I won't try and do a runner then.
Don't even try and sort of chat them up, because it doesn't work.
No. Last year, they with the fatality, they actually did leave it open for longer.
Sort of a bit much, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never heard them do it normally.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
They are really hard and fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you are going to have to worry, Rachel. You're going to fly through that cut-off.
You're going to fly.
Yeah.
On fire. As long as you don't stop, you're doing well. Okay, so next one's climbing and descending. Basically, you're going to be spending a lot generally. So yeah, climbing, some basic tips. Try to keep the cake over what you'd normally do, but if you've got the option of dropping down a gear and spinning a bit more, use it earlier doors. Don't just wait. It'll save the fatigue in your legs. It'll put a bit more stress on the heart, but it'll take it off your legs, which you'll need later in the event. So where possible, try and go a gear easier. Once you get to your easier gear, then you've got to go with what you've got. But the climbs aren't super steep. They're normally like 5, 6, 7% on the early ones, the long ones. So yeah, get in the small thing at the front and just tap away. What I find personally at that event, I also suffer a little bit with hot foot, and that isn't helped by grinding out the pedals. So you get the pressure at the bottom. They call it hot foot, but it's due to the pressure on the sole with your foot. So if you've got a really low cadence and you're grinding up all the climbs, by the end of like 12 hours in the heat, you'll get a bit of discomfort on the foot. So having a higher cadence also helps that. Look forward, not down. Again, I see a lot of people when they're riding and they're struggling, they're looking down, but you'll go where you look. So you want to be looking forward. If your motivation's dropped and your head's down, you end up being really jerky on the pedals, and you just like one pedal stroke at a time and just losing all the momentum. So you want to look forward and try to just keep on top of the pedal stroke as much as you can. Keep fueling. Descending is not an easy time to eat if you want to keep your hands on the bars. And then going up, you're normally working hard, so that's not always the best time, but you've got to eat at some point. So going up is the easier time to eat for most people. So keep fueling and pace yourself. Basically, people always ask like, well, I've got one on pacing next actually, so I'll probably hold fire on that one because I've got another slide on pacing. That's quite a big part of it. So yeah, pace stuff and ride your own race. you'll get people that will come pasture, but some people are better on the hills, some people are better on the flats, some people are better on the downhills. Everybody has good spells at different times, so they might come pasture and they're having a good spell. Don't ride to anybody else. Do your own event. And what you'll also find, if you try and do the 3-1-2, you'll be bombing it back on the 2-2-5 route in a big group, pushing hard. And then you'll realise that they're all doing the 2-2-5 and they're carrying on straight back to base, and you're doing the 3-1-2. So yeah, you don't know what event each person's doing. So they might even do the 1-6-7, and you're trying to keep up with them. They're not doing the full distance. So yeah, ride your own race. Descending, again, you'll be doing a lot of that throughout the event. You want to descend as fast as you can because it's free time, but don't take risks. It's just not worth it. So it's closed road, so you've got the full road to use. It's safe. They're good at putting signs up as well. Like most of the time now, they have yellow and black switchback signs on anything really steep. If you've got it on your Garmin, you can also see the route and see the tight ones to know to slow down. There are some nasty switchbacks on there, and sadly there was a fatality last year on the last descent before the feed station. It's not worth not coming back for by pushing it for a few extra seconds. But that said, if you're comfortable, don't just sit on your brakes and poodle down, because it is just free speed. So where possible, use it. Cornering, look where you want to go. Again, if you look down, like that's where you're going to go. You've got to look out of the corner as you go round, look forward. Lean the bike, don't turn the handlebars. You want to lean it and then put in the weight. So if you're going around the left bend, you have your left leg up, and then you put the weight on the right leg to go round. The bike wants to go straight and wants to carry on, but if you turn the handlebars, that doesn't work. You've got to lean. And ideally on the drops, so you've got a lower center of gravity, and stay relaxed. Don't be tense. Okay, that's that one. So yeah, next one's pacing. I'm not a fan of a massive pacing strategy for people. I mean, you can do the maths and work out the full distance and what it needs to work out at per kilometer, what your speed needs to be averaging. But at the end of the day, again, you've only got X amount in you. What are you going to do if you're miles off target? You're not going to suddenly step it up from what you're doing, because you'll be doing as much as you can do. So the big thing for me is holding it back on the first climb. The first 30k or 28,000 is pan flat, so you can get in a few groups there, cover some speed, and make a bit of time up. But when you hit the first climb, if your heart rate's getting to threshold, then you know you're pushing it too hard. You won't get it back if you go over on the early climb. So try to sit below threshold on the first climb, tempo, sweet spot on the first climb. Don't be tempted to push hard. You're going to feel great at the first climb, but I don't want to give an exact figure for you to ride at. But once you've done the first couple of climbs and you're a few hours into the event, like the speed will be what the speed will be. It levels out then, because you'll start to be fatigued, and again, you've only got what you've got. So yeah, just dial it back for the first couple of hours, and then it'll level out. Ride on feel. Although most people have got power, and I use power. Heart rate's a good one to just have one eye on. The power obviously jumps about a lot, but the heart rate's an easy one just to keep an eye on. If it starts to go into the red over threshold for any prolonged period, then you know your burner matches, and you've only got X amount. So everything comes at a cost. You'll find there'll be a group sometimes where they're going quick and you can get on the back of them and draft. Sometimes you have to put an extra dig in just to keep that group. But you weigh up, is it worth out of the corners or doing a little bit extra occasionally just to keep in that group, or do I then drop back and wait for another group to come along? So you'll constantly have groups come past you once you're out in the mountains on the flatter sections. and yeah, you can save a huge amount of time. So you can find a group that's just at your pace or just above where you can hang on the back, then do it. Where are we here? So yeah, and just accept your speed's gonna drop. Like, you get excited at the start thinking that you're doing the X amount, but by the end you'll just be crawling sometimes. I know I've been. So yeah, takeaways, mainly four main ones. Rider's error is possible when at speed or into a headwind. You're not going to suddenly pull out another 50 watts on the day. You've only got what you've got to work with. So you can do a little bit extra at times, but you're not going to suddenly transform thinking, no, I can add another 100 watts onto my FTP. I feel good now. doesn't it'll come back to bite you. Yeah, think of yourself like a battery. The harder you go, the more you'll deplete it, and you can't fuel to get it back. Think about how you can maintain the speed or go faster without using more energy. That's always the key. Draft wherever possible. As I said, you get some huge groups come past you at times. You can save up to 50% power energy by sitting behind on someone's wheel. In theory, you should do a turn if you're in a group, do your bit, but at the end of the day, it's every man for himself. You're not going to see them again. Like, just sit on their wheel and let them tow you. Yeah, they might flick their elbow, but there's no law that you have to do a turn on the front. And again, they might be doing the 167 and you're doing the 312. So yeah, you'll eat some miles up if you can get that sorted. That'll be a big bonus to drafting. Descend as quick as possible, but safely. As I said, that's the key thing. Whatever it is, it's not worth not coming home from the event. Last one, yeah, smooth pedal stroke with a reasonable cadence and a relaxed upper body. The last thing you want to be is tense for the whole 12, 13 hours, because you're just, again, burning a ton of energy that you haven't got, and you'll end up with neck ache, shoulder ache, arm ache, leg ache, bum ache, everything. So yeah, just be as relaxed as you can. Use everything to your advantage. Next slide. There's a group called the Polka Dot Jerseys. They set off first. They go first when the gun goes. So they sit behind the pace car all the way to the first climb. They then stop at the first climb by the side of the road and wait for everyone to go past. And then in theory, they should ride at the pace that you need to do to complete the event at the required time. But the first year I did it, and you're also told that they'll encourage you, anyone struggling near the back, they'll encourage and motivate you and help you get through. The first year I did it, I got caught by them and they come past me like a rocket. Like, there was no way I was keeping up with them at all. But found out what they then do is they stop at every feed station for quite a while, but they also stop at Arta for ages and have beer and a party. So they don't quite ride at that pace for each section. They'll go a bit faster and then stop for longer. So if they do pass you, you're not out of the race. There is a Broom Wagon that will come past right at the back, and I think there is some. That is the end then, but the polka dots aren't. So yeah, they come past you. They have speakers and all sorts, like, to try to encourage you. But yeah, when they come past me, there was no way I was keeping up with them. I think, yeah, although I've put the fear up, you probably, and I've said that the last 90k isn't nice. Like, the event is still amazing. Like, the 225 route is stunning. Like, 8,000 people, closed roads, you'll never ever get to do in Mallorca. So yeah, don't don't get fixated on sitting there looking at your Garmin for the whole time, worrying about the cut-offs. Try to look and enjoy it as much as you can on the day. And yeah, resources, everyone's on the academy, you should have these. They're your two key resources, which goes into a bit more detail from what I've said. The Mallorca nutrition guide that Kate produced for me, and then my guide, which I update every year for anything new that's added. So I'm starting to update that for this year. But yeah, if you haven't got them, then get in touch with me and I can send them out to you. But yeah, thanks for listening. And any questions? If I can fire you all back up into my screen. Yep, you're there. Okay. All right. Is that okay? Everybody know what they're doing?
I've got a question actually.
Go on, mate.
James, is that okay? So, is it okay, and do you not get disqualified for wild weeing?
I've done it, Rachel. No, you don't.
Well, they say potentially you shouldn't do it, but I don't know anyone who's ever been disqualified or caught. I do it all the time.
Okay.
I don't use the toilet in the event. Yeah, never have used the toilet.
Okay, perfect.
So yeah, they I don't know whether I have read that they do. You're not supposed to do it, but yeah.
Okay.
Can I tag on to that, please? Just at the start line in the morning, obviously you're coming in fresh and you're hydrated, and you're also standing around for 45 and 50 minutes waiting to go. So I mean, as in waiting to go on the race, not waiting to go. So is there bathrooms available, or
so in some of the pens there they have now got cubicles in the pens, but if you go to the supermarket and get they do these bottles that I'm not sure
that's what I was thinking, to be quite honest with you.
I'm not sure what make they are, but they're blue and they've got a wide neck on them.
Right.
And
what have you heard, James?
what I will do is I'll take down with half orange juice and half water, and I'll be sipping that in the morning, and then I then get to use that bottle afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not one for the ladies, but
yeah, my struggle there.
But in the last 2 years they've had portaloos in, but you can also jump once you've got your spot. If you get there early, when you go through the gate, then when you get to your place, because I start queuing you up.
Yeah,
pick a spot to the left or the right. You can put your bike against the railings,
right,
and you've got the option of jumping over and using the hotel. People do that.
Okay. It'll probably present itself on the morning. I was just practically trying to plan for it, but it's going to be one of those where you just
that's why it's good if you net your pint of water as soon as you wake up, then you can just sip a little bit before the event. You shouldn't need too much, but
gotcha.
It's a fine line of being hydrated, and because I go to the toilet loads.
You have the bladder of a small child, James.
Very small child.
I have a question, James. In terms of at the start line as well, can it get cold? Should we be taking some clothing to perhaps dispose of at the start line?
Yeah, normally it's a little bit chilly, so I normally go down with an old hoodie that I bring over from the UK, and wear that until the start. They all get you just take it off and put it on the barriers. They all get collected. They say, I don't know, donate to charity or something. But yeah, you'll see people that'll wear a bin bag, or they'll wear a sheet from the hotel, or an old top. It's not horrendously cold, but you're standing around for a while. It's probably worth bringing something old that you'll leave. And I think last year I got ill at the end of the event because I got cold. At the end, I sat down and started getting cold. And so if you've got a friend, if you've got someone who's meeting you on the finish line, if they've got something warm for you to put on. That's always good, but not everybody's luxury is that.
Is there any point taking a gilet or something with you, or just forget that, really?
Yeah, I mean, you've obviously got to check the forecast near at a time, but I would generally, I mean, if it's forecast rain, then you've got to take something for that, but I'd probably steer clear of the gilet unless the temperature is really bad for the day, because you want the pockets for food.
Yeah.
Right? You want to carry as much nutrition as you can and treat the feed stations as like a bonus or water, like fuel yourself with most of it, then you don't have to rely on the feed stations.
So James,
there's also a couple of shops on the way in the guide. There's a couple of points where you can stop at a normal shop, like you're allowed to. The shops, there'll be a few that are open, and it might be quicker just to dive in and grab a 2-litre bottle of water and tip it in.
Do you need cash for that? Or
no, most of them.
That far.
Yeah, that is another option if the feed station is chaos. I'm normally okay. I don't get to see. I mean, I've seen some of the images of the feed stations have been horrendous, but they've got more than they used to have. They put in 3 more, I think.
Last year, the water ones were better because you could literally pull up on your bike and not even get off your bike, and they had the pipes, so you could literally pull up, put your water bottle, fill your water bottle, and literally go. You didn't even have to get off your bike at all.
Yeah, a couple
obviously,
of
as long as you didn't want food, but for just water, that they worked brilliantly last year.
I need to update the guide because there's a couple of them that are really good where they've got the pipe. They're on the road. They've got the pipes.
Yeah,
they're good ones to stop at. There's some where you actually have to get off.
I think that one, the first one I stopped, that wasn't the first stop after the cut-off. It was the next one, I think.
Yeah, that's what I used.
Cut-off, you've got the one where through the cut-off, and
there's a new one. There's a new one about 8K from the. You got one just after the cut-off, haven't you?
Yeah, just after the cut-off, and then it was the next one. I think.
That's only about 10K. That's but they didn't have Coke at that one. That's when I stopped that because it was really quiet and it was easy with water, but it didn't have Coke at that one.
But it was really good. Like I said, I didn't even get off my bike. Literally pulled up straight up to the pipe, and you could just fill your bottles and go. You didn't have to.
They also have helpers on some of them as well. That'll fill them up for you. So
did you manage to carry all of your nutrition just in your pockets? Do you have any bar bag or
top tube bag?
Okay.
And my pockets, yeah.
And that was enough.
Yeah.
And you have to wear the 312 jersey, don't you? Is that correct?
No. They try to get you to wear it,
right?
Because they don't want people, because a lot of people do the ride who aren't on the event. So they encourage you to ride it, but you don't have to. I only ride it so I get new pictures, because otherwise, if I wore my kit, it looked like I've only ever done it once. So I do it to get the photos.
But of the jerseys they give you, there's enough storage in the
pocket. They're go big jerseys. They're decent quality jerseys as well. They're not bad at all.
Okay.
James, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's for the first cut-off? What's the cumulative amount of ascent for the first cut-off? Do you know?
Yes.
Would you let us know what it is?
Yeah, I'll let you know what it is, because I've got it. What I've done is I've got a commute file, a GPX of what it is, elevation in commute. I've got one saved, so I can share that. It gives you the exact elevation. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but I have got it.
James, is there somewhere where we can download the actual route onto our Garmin's?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same as every year. So I can send you my commute files, got all the routes in them. But they should, I think, on their 312 official site, it's
definitely there.
It's on there.
Yeah, they're there.
You can't get lost on the day as well. And it's good to have the route. definitely, because you can see the corners and that coming. But yeah, you won't get lost.
Going back to nutrition, James, do you tend to take electrolytes and stuff with you?
Yeah, but they are, yeah, I'll carry electrolytes. But they are really good. They have these salt tablets at all the feed stations.
Oh, right. You put those in your water, or do you actually eat them?
You just take them. They're like a paracetamol.
Oh, right.
226, mate.
Okay.
They do two. One's caffeine and one's not. So
right,
be careful if you end up having a can of Coke and the caffeinated one.
Yeah.
At every feed station, you won't be sleeping.
You'd be buzzing.
Yeah. Extra what?
Yeah.
And then typically, James, is because I'm a complete novice on this, how many bottles do you normally put onto your bike? Do you just do 2 750s?
Well, last year I did litres. If you get the what's the make?
Elite.
They're really thin material and they're wide to the top.
Right.
So their litre bottle isn't that much bigger than a 750.
Oh, wow.
I use those bottles anyway for the 750s because the 750s look like 600s. They're like,
okay.
So yeah, 2 750s or 2 litres. Again, it's always a trade-off as you've got to carry the extra weight. So people always, like on the Facebook group, they talk about camelbacks and rear mounts to have an extra 2 and that, but like you cart a lot of weight up the first climbs unnecessarily.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, every milliliter is a gram. So yeah, you're carrying. If you've got two 1 litre bottles, then you've got 2 kilos to carry, aren't you? So
unnecessary. So yeah, 7th. You can get to the first cut-off if you're very conservative with how much you drink in the first hour. You can make the first cut-off without stopping.
Right. Okay.
If you start off hydrated.
But do you recommend going through the first cut-off though?
Yeah, the one at 50k. It's a 50k. Yeah, they used to be water only, but it's food and water. But yeah, you shouldn't need to stop there.
It's normally chaos there as well.
Yeah. Well, it depends how near the front you are. If you know the front, you're okay. But because there's one at 101. Actually, yeah, you got 2 before. You got 50 and an 86. One's at 50, one's at 86, and then you've got the cut-off at 97. And then there's one just after the cut-off. And then you've got another one at 114, which is the one that Sharon and me stopped at. So yeah, I can get to 114k one. That's the fourth official feed station. Yeah, they are busy. And yeah, what you want to do is just get your bike in a place away from the chaos, because you can't always get your bike in. So you just have to sort of park your bike, go over, grab what you need and get it and go. Proper military procedure, really. is what you want to treat it as.
Right.
Yeah, no shopping and hanging about. But the more you can carry of your own stuff, the better.
What about lights? There's talk, I don't know what the truth is on lights, whether you have to have them, whether you need them.
No, it's not mandatory. You don't really need them. There's a couple of tunnels, but I mean, it might be wise to have the one on in the morning. Depends where you're staying. Like getting to the start line is dark, but there's no cars about, and there's loads of other people riding to the start line, so you can piggyback off their lights. Yeah, you don't have to worry about lights at all, and you'll be back before it's pitch black. So
hopefully.
That's the goal. But everyone's training's gone well then.
Ask me after the event.
The training's gone well, but when I went down with COVID a couple of weeks ago, I've been a bit apprehensive since. I've put in a couple of rides a weekend and a couple of nights, and my first day back on the trainer tonight, and I found it pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to have lost everything that you've gained, that you've built. So, yeah, it's not ideal if you could have got to this week and then happened, but yeah, you can't change.
Well, I'll soon tell over this next weekend, because this next weekend's a pretty big weekend, isn't it?
As long as you're fully recovered, then carry on with this weekend and then start the taper. Okay.
Just a very quick last one on nutrition. Do you take any real food, James? Because looking at that pile of food that you had out, it just looked a lot of pH stuff and Haribos.
I always tell people you basically with cycling nutrition, it's basically everything that you wouldn't eat off the bike is what you want to eat on the bike. Like you'd never eat any of that stuff, and I don't like when I'm not cycling. It's all shit. It's just sugar. So I might grab a half a banana at one of the feed stations. I've got less and less as the year's gone on. So the first year I did it, I had proper food and sandwiches and all sorts of things. But your body doesn't necessarily need it. But if you haven't trained for it, then it's not great. But in terms of what your body needs, it just needs carbs in it, and that is in its simplest form is just pure sugar. But it's sensitive on your gut. But the more you train with it, the more you can get away with it. So you don't have to have real food to do the event. Like that has got what you need in it, but you might.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying do what I did and just have that because
it's a bit late in the day, but Precision Fuel and Hydration do that flow gel. Have you used that, James? That's brilliant. So basically, it's like
is it where the refill thing? Where
they do a 90 gram, which you could run with. So yeah, I do that. But basically, the flow gel is like a really weak consistency gel that you just put in your water bottles. And I appreciate you can only do that for the first two. But yeah, a pouch of that is some ridiculous, like 300 grams of carbs. But you can put that into your water. It's really easy tasting. It's gentle on the stomach. Doesn't really do a lot. But basically, you're drinking carbs very easily. So I tend to put like 90 grams in both bottles plus the electrolytes, and that really does make life easier. But you should have been training with it, and so I'm not necessarily condoning people doing it straight away, but it's a really good way of doing it.
I have found the precision hydration stuff has been the best on the stomach.
Yeah, I find it. Yeah, definitely.
Out of all of them, whether it be the drinks, the gels, the chews, like their stuff has been far better than anything else I've used.
Yeah, I agree.
And at the end of the event, you're not going to want to eat anything. Like you're just sick of anything. So that's where you'll find Coke. Coke will be your friend. I managed to do that event when I was sick. I got round the rest of it just on Coke. That's all I could stomach.
Brilliant.
So yeah, it's all about the sugar.
Has the GPX route, has it got all the food stops on it?
No. Well, no, it hasn't.
Have you got your little tube top
stickers
for this year or not?
Yeah, we've got co-branded with Ride Harder and Mellow Jersey.
They are quite handy to have. They are.
Yeah, but then they've changed the cut-off time, so I've got the old cut-off time. But,
right.
I figure it's only 5 minutes, and if you go by my sticker time, then
be early.
You'll be early, yeah.
You'll be early, but it is handy.
Head of the game.
It is handy to have all the feed stations on them and the kilometers or miles, so you can stick it on your top tube or on the bar stem. So I shall have them out in Mallorca for everybody to grab.
Yeah. Are you going to do like you done last year? Are you going to do your ride that you done? or not?
I can't this year because, well, I might do, but I'm working now.
Right.
I'm going over there on Saturday and guiding for Emma.
Oh, okay.
But I'm only doing the short rides for the trip.
Okay.
Where can we find you, James, when we go there?
You'll be hiding.
Yeah, are we meet up, or are we going to meet up?
Oh, we can do a meet up. The year before I did a coffee or beer. I can't remember. Coffee. Did a meet up beforehand. So yeah, we'll arrange something beforehand. All I've got to do is just the riding. I haven't got any other responsibilities for Emma. So yeah, I'm there on the Saturday. When's everybody arriving?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Tuesday. I think Tuesday and Wednesday is a popular day. Yeah, I think Thursdays, when you start getting to people do arrive Thursday, but I just think you're pushing it a bit if you have anything mechanically needed, or it's just, yeah, I think the earlier the better. Yeah, it'll be a busy week. I can't believe how quick it comes around, or has come around.
James, do you take any tubes, or would you recommend that we take, like when I go cycling around here, I normally got 2 tubes and a pump. Would you recommend us take that as well?
Yeah, so I think I'd go for 2 tubes, but I've now got the Tubolito ones as well, which are really thin. So I'll take probably 1 tube and 1 Tubolito, and then some patches. Maybe if you have more than like 2 or 3 punches, then you can write the day off anyway. I think I've had one puncture before. That was all. I do change my tires beforehand. I put brand new tires on, just as a precaution. Like, you're not gonna, nothing's ever foolproof. Like, you can still get a puncture, but I figure that the chances of a new tire is a lot less than an old tire. There's more.
Yeah,
I think it's worth, for that big event, it's worth changing tires for. Yeah, you just don't want anything to go wrong on a day. Bike serviced. Yeah, brake pads checked. Everything. Yeah,
my mechanic told me to take a mech hanger, but
yeah, oh yeah, I carry a mech hanger with me in my bag all the time on my bike. Yeah, if you mech hanger when you're traveling, always spare mech hanger. Like, you won't get one. Well, you might get one, but as a rule, they're so individual to each person's bike. The chances of the bike shop having the mech hanger that suits your bike is very slim, and they're the most likely thing to get bent or damaged beforehand. So yeah, travel with a mech hanger. I think in my guide, I've got a list of things to take. Yeah, that's the top of the list of mech hanger. They've got the expo. They have a couple of mechanics, got Shimano's tent and another couple of mechanics there doing. You can take it and have a £10 pre-race check if you've got out of the box and you're worried. They'll do that, and there's people there to help you. I would say if you go there to the expo the day before, then again on the rest front, don't just walk endlessly around the expo all day on your legs. Like, you just want to go there, get your number. Well, I think if you're on Emma's trip, then they pick them up on bulk for you, but you probably still want to go and visit the expo. But yeah, that can tire you out by walking around endlessly in the heat when you just want to be laying with your feet up. So
James,
yeah,
doesn't Emma's trip put on other drink stops? Because I know the company that we've gone with have got 2 of their own independent stops en route.
No, Emma doesn't. Your Cyclisme Mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has. She has an early stop there at about 90k, doesn't she?
She's got. I think it's one just before the cut.
Yeah.
The first cut, and then they've got 200 and something K into the whole ride. But it just means you can dump food there, can't you? You don't have to carry it all at once.
If you've got anything special that you need or want, yeah.
Or just lessen those pockets.
Mm. There's a few companies that will have their people on the course.
I didn't know if Emma done it, that's all.
No. They do well to do that because you need another team to get there before the road closures, cycle there, don't you? And yeah.
Yeah, because the cars aren't allowed on the route, are they?
It's just having a bit of thought, really. Like, look at when the feed stations are in the guide. I'll give approximate times based on 12 hours riding. So, like, work out roughly how long you think you're going to take, how many carbs you need, how many bottles you'll need, and just try to think, well, I'll stop at this one, and this one. Again, the plan probably will go out the window on the day because something will change, but yeah, that's life. But at least if you start off with a plan, the goal to carry as much as you can to be as self-sufficient as you can, and then if you have to use a shop for water, you could. Like, there's other options because there's years where they've ran out at the feed station. I don't think any of that will happen again, but you just don't know if things go wrong. You could drop one of your bottles on the descent, one of them bounce out. Like, it's a million and one things that can happen on the day. So you need a bit of luck as well as hard work, and the weather to play ball as well. Like, no wind and no rain. Last year there's a bit of a downpour just before we set off, which wasn't ideal. But
that absolutely poured, didn't it?
Wow, yeah, it did.
That wasn't just that tipped it down on the start line, James.
Yeah, I think it was a slower start because then the start is neutralized to the first 28 to the bottom of the familiar, like 28, 30k. If you're at the front, there's a pace car stopping you.
All I've been training in is wind and rain for the last 2.5 months. It's not going to make a huge difference.
You can't pick the conditions on race day, can you? So
I'll be ready for it, for sure.
I've got a bit of a technical question. I've taken a bike abroad a few times, but I've never taken anything like tubeless tires. What are your sort of thoughts around that?
Well, you have to let the pressure out when you fly. Is that what you talk about? Or
yeah, I've done that before. I realise that. But if you got a bike, I'm debating which bike to take. So if you've got a bike that's set up tubeless, then
I'm not the right person to speak to because I'm not a fan of tubeless
right.
on a road bike. But then you'll speak to someone else who'll swear by it, saying it's the best thing since sliced bread.
I'll be tubeless.
Yeah. The thing about tubeless is it's great until it's not. And if it's not, it is just a disaster.
So I've been trialing the Craft Cadence inner tubes, and then putting 30 millilitres of tubeless sealant in them.
In the inner tube.
In the inner tube, and that works an absolute treat.
I'd probably would say that is the way forward, like
because they're super light. Those Craft Cadence ones, they're really hard, but yeah, you get all the benefit that if it does, you do get sort of a puncture that's not going to seal. Then all you're doing is whipping off another inner tube and putting another inner tube in, so that makes it loads easier.
Yeah, I mean, I've got it on my gravel bike and I've had problems with it, but I still think on a gravel it's okay because you've got lower pressure. The bit I just don't like about the road bike is you run too high pressure and it just leaks before it seals, I find.
At high pressure it does, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit better now because the tires are wider, and if you don't weigh a lot, you can afford to run them a bit less pressure. Obviously, you don't weigh nothing, do you, Figgy? So you're okay.
I'm about 60 psi.
Yeah, so it's a bit better, but yeah, I still not a fan. I know where I am with an inner tube. Like, it still takes me 5 minutes to change it, but you don't.
But in the bike box, I don't take out all the air of my tires. I just mess it up. If not, you will end up with a sticky mess.
Yeah, so you've got to lie to the person when you check your bike in because they'll insist that you've got to have deflated the tyres fully. And I know someone who said, "Oh, I've got tubeless, so I just took a bit out." Like, and that's the worst thing you can say to an airport operator. Like, as soon as they hear that there might be a bit of air in it, that's it. Like, they're all over it like a rash.
Well,
and the same as Steve Springer. The battery, yeah. Don't ever say you've got a battery on your bike. Like, they made Steve take his bike apart, seat post out, to get the battery. And she wanted to see the battery. And when they say battery, they're talking about an e-bike. But he was too honest. And then watched him get this battery. And then when he got to Mallorca, his cables had slipped down and he couldn't fish them out. Like, we were on the brink of having to take the bottom bracket out of the bike to get the cable, all because he was too honest. So if they ask you if you've got a battery, no. And have you taken all the air out? Yes. All you need to do is take a bit
how
of
much
air out.
pressure should be left in the actual tire, though? Like 20-30% there?
I would leave quite a bit in, because the tubeless need to stay on the rim, don't they? And if you let too much air out, I mean, all it is there'll be a bit of pressure build up in the plane hole, like, so you just don't want them high, like, I don't know, maybe 40 psi or something, like.
And remember, no CO2 cartridges.
I don't use CO2 anymore. Yeah, never CO2.
I forgot one year. It didn't do anything. The plane got there, it didn't blow up.
Oh God, Figgy, I done it one year. Darren frightened the life out of me. We got to the airport, everything had been checked in, and I can't remember what we were saying. We sat there having a coffee, and he said, "Oh, well, you didn't have any gas canisters in there, did you?" And I just went, "Oh my God." And then literally sat on the plane waiting for the plane to go bang. I said, "I'm going to have to go back and tell them." He said, "You aren't." He said, "I'm not letting you," because again, like James just said, he said, "You can imagine your bike is already on the plane."
Yeah.
And oh my God, I just felt, that was horrible. So no, never again.
As soon as you say something to the people that work there, then that's it. They have to then follow through with the correct procedure. I don't think a CO2 canister is going to take a plane out, is it?
No. But by the time we got on the plane, Darren had convinced me that I was literally going to blow up this jet plane as we took off to go.
All your fault.
2 gas canisters.
But yeah, there's some important things there, like, for people that might not have travelled, like, just stupid little things that you learn from travelling that not to do or say. Can be a world of pain if you say the wrong thing at the wrong time. So yeah, you have to decide on your own setup. It's like the worst thing to say, someone to say, "Oh, I would have tubeless," and then you get a problem with it, like, or the vice versa, tube. And yeah, I'm just not a fan. But yeah, I think Carl's idea of sealing inner tube is a good way forward. Just saves the mess, because if you ever have to put it in, they say, well, if I get a punch and it doesn't seal, I just put an inner tube in it. But it is just, you can't get the tire off. You're covered in sealant.
Well, the other problem is then if you haven't got a CO2 canister to blow it up, you can't use an e-pump you can't use a battery pump because it's just not got enough pressure in them to blow the water.
To reseat it. Yeah.
No, I've done that. It doesn't work. Yeah,
even a gas canister doesn't always seat it.
No, and
you need so much pressure.
Yeah, it's not good.
The roads are generally pretty good. Again, apart from the last 90k where you go on a few farm tracks, the 225 route is good, like tarmac wise. So
you're selling the 225, James, very well today. Not the 312. Can we all do the 225?
I'm doing the 225.
Maybe I'll get to the cut-off and just think, so that I'll go on.
That is hard because you're so close to the end there.
Yeah.
225.
Yeah.
225 is definitely the lovely, the best route, the nicest route.
It's just a shame that first cut-off. You normally would say if you don't make the first cut off on the 312, you think, oh, that's okay, I could drop down and do the 225, but
you can't.
No, if you don't make that first cut off, you can only do the 167.
Which is a real shame because it is such a lovely route.
That is the best one.
When you go down that coast down that side with the coast, the sea off to the right. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that is stunning.
That's the bit down to Ajax, isn't it, or whatever it's called?
You end up
bit
at
past the
Andrex.
first, the bit
Yeah,
past the
Andrex.
first cut.
Yeah.
36 miles in it of extra loop before you come back onto the course with a 167.
Yeah, you then actually, you meet all the 167 people, then
Yeah.
Yeah, so on the route as well, once you've done your extra loop, you then come back and join the people doing the 167, and you'll be on the road. It's going to get really busy, and you'll see all these people, and you're like, how did they get in front of me? But they didn't. They've done the 167. Yeah, and that feed station is very busy. I can't remember what that one's called. Sagranja or Escapadella. I don't know where the where the 167
is. That the one where that's through that main street? Is that the one?
No, that's La Seta. That is busy. Yeah, that's busy as well. That's on.
They moved it. Haven't they moved? One of the food stops is like 1K before the 167 rejoin. They've moved it to the other side of the join point.
I thought they converge together.
No, I think they come back on, but as they come back on, about 1K before that, there's a food stop.
Okay.
I think that's one of their changes, because it used to be that the 167 had a stop at 80 odd, and then they were stopping again at they'd only done about 10 or 12K.
Yeah, I never stopped in that area.
No, I think it's just before their cut off. It looks on the map that it's about a kilometre before, or half a K before the course rejoins.
Have a look on the guide. It's got each feed stop in there and a detailed description about each section that you've got, and so you can roughly work out what you'll need to carry.
The one I just said about, James, which is that through the main street there. What did you say that one was?
La Seta.
That one, I would recommend that one for anyone who wants a toilet stop, because there was lots of toilets there.
Yeah.
And they were okay. They were being.
That's 194K. That's just before the cut off at 220. Yeah, that's the last one before the.
That was one I stopped at. Not last year, the year before, because that was it, and they were all good.
Yeah, that is quite busy, that one, because
that's the last one before the 167, or the last of the 167 stops, isn't it?
Yes, I think you're right.
And the last of the 225s.
Yeah. Before the next turn.
Yeah.
To go round, is it Pablo or wherever we go round? Muro, what's called now?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I always stop at La Seta as well.
Yeah, that was a good, because there was plenty of places to put your bike. There's loads of space there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's wide.
Yeah, exactly. That was a good one. But yeah,
it's hard to get through that one if you don't stop as well. Like, there's people in the road. There's no clear path through that one. That is, you're virtually forced to stop. I think, I don't know if I'll do it this year, but on some of them, they need to have a lane set up for people who aren't stopping. Some of those early ones in the mountains where it gets busy, like, you can't get. I've seen pictures of people queuing who weren't going to stop, and they've a stationary point on their bike. They don't need to stop at the feed station, but because the road, everybody's just all in the road, you can't get through. So they need to have a lane for people who aren't.
The last ride London, the Essex one, before they stopped it, they had a lane for food stop, which worked really well, because there were a lot of people who didn't want to stop.
Yeah. Whether they do try to improve it every year, so there's a chance that they might do that. And it's really hard to say that it's definitely going to be this. Like, there's definitely going to be that food, like, because they might just suddenly tweak it. But it's in my guide, I just put what happened last year, so that's as close as we know. But yeah, as you come up, you'll see the flat, like the gazebos and things. Like, you'll see what side of the road it's on. You can do your best to try to get on the other side if you don't need to stop, and hope that you can squeeze through. But yeah, the earlier you can get there, the better. But it's not as, I mean, I've probably said all the worst things about it as well, just to set the stall out. But yeah, it's not always as bad as that. Right. Everybody's questions answered.
Thank you, James. That was really useful.
Yeah, thank you. It was really good.
Yeah, and if you're on the Mellow Jersey tour, or even you're not, and you want to listen to a similar talk, I do it live on stage at the C Club on the Thursday before the event. So yeah, you can come and see me there. The same again. I hate that's my like one speaking gig of the year, which I hate.
You're a natural, James.
No,
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm getting better, but still not my thing. Okay, so yeah, any questions? WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, email.
Last one from me is, can I have your ride guide? I didn't seem to grab that or haven't found it.
I'll send it to you, Figgy.
Thanks.
I'll send it direct.
Thank you.
Look after you.
Thanks, James. See you soon.
Well,
Okay.
Thank you,
If I don't
James.
speak to you before,
Cheers,
see you in
James.
Mallorca.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.